What if I told you that one of the most powerful things you can do for your body, your brain, and your sense of who you are takes less time than boiling a kettle? Not 30 minutes, not a full workout, just 3 simple minutes. No gym, no equipment, no fitness background required. Just you, a little bit of space, and a quiet decision. I'm not done. I'm still moving forward. In Japan, millions of older adults have been making that decision every single morning for almost 100 years through a simple routine called Radio Taiso. On the surface, it looks easy. Small circles, gentle reaches, a bit of bending and stretching. But underneath, it's quietly training your joints, your heart, your balance, your brain, and even your identity to stay awake. If you're over 60 and you've ever thought, I'm getting stiffer every year, my balance isn't what it used to be, I know I should move more, but everything feels too hard or too long, then these 3 minutes might become one of the most important habits in your day. Stay with me, because I'm not just going to tell you what Radio Taiso is. I'm going to show you why it works, how to make it safe for your body, and how to turn it into a daily ritual that actually sticks. And at the end, I'll give you a simple way to start today, even if you feel stiff, tired, or out of shape. End quote. IF said of go aim a, end quote. Before we dive in, I'd love to know, what's your name and where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. You might be surprised how many people your age, in your situation, are here walking this path with you. Your joints aren't too old, they're waiting for a signal. Let's start with something most people are never told. That stiffness you feel in the morning, when you first stand up from the chair. Or when you try to turn and your body feels like it's one solid block. That's not just age punishing you. A huge part of that stiffness is simply this. Joints that haven't been invited to move in a while. Your joints are filled with a natural lubricant called synovial fluid, and that fluid only spreads and wakes up when you move them. If you spend most of the day sitting in a chair, looking at a screen, driving, or standing still in the same position, your joints quietly go into sleep mode. They're not broken. They're not useless. They're just underused. Radio Taiso is like a morning wake-up call for your joints. Those small rhythmic circles and reaches are designed to gently move your shoulders, wrists, hips, knees, and spine. Pump fresh synovial fluid through the joint spaces. Remind your muscles how to stretch and contract together again. You're not forcing a big yoga pose. You're not dropping into deep stretches. You're simply saying, let's move a little every day together. And that little everyday part matters more than any perfect stretch you don't do. People are often shocked by this. 2 or 3 weeks into a simple daily routine, they suddenly reach down to pick something up and realize they didn't have to plan it, brace for it, or hold their breath. Their body just did it, like it used to. That's not magic. That's what happens when you give your joints consistent, gentle invitations instead of long periods of silence. Not all cardio has to hurt. Meet your microcardio. When you hear the word cardio, what do you picture? Jogging? Treadmills? Sweaty gym sessions with pounding music? For many people over 60, the honest reaction is, no thanks. My knees, my heart, and my motivation all say no. But here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Your heart doesn't need punishment. It needs rhythm. It needs regular, gentle increases in demand, not all out. Breathless suffering. Radio Taiso is a form of what I like to call microcardio. Your arms move in patterns, your legs shift and bend slightly, your torso rotates. Your breath naturally deepens to match the motions. Your heart rate rises a little, your circulation improves. Your body gets the message. We're awake, we're in use, keep the blood moving. And then, it's done. Before you feel wiped out, before your knees are angry, before your back is screaming. That's the sweet spot. Not too little, not too much. Just enough to lower resting blood pressure over time, improve blood vessel flexibility, help your body deliver more oxygen to your brain, and do it all without leaving you exhausted or scared to try again tomorrow. One of the biggest reasons people stop exercising in their 60 seconds and 70 seconds isn't laziness. It's that most exercise they've been taught is too hard, too long, or too painful. Microcardio fixes that. 3 minutes, gentle movements. You finish feeling more energized, not drained. That's what keeps you coming back. Movement as a calm place, not one more thing to stress about. You've probably had someone tell you, you should meditate, it'll help your stress. But sitting quietly with your eyes closed while your mind races through worries? For many people, that's not calming at all. It can feel like torture. This is where Radio Taiso is quietly brilliant. The simple, repeated motions become a kind of moving meditation. Your hands lift and lower. Your spine sways gently. Your feet press. Your arms reach. Your body follows a familiar pattern. For those 3 minutes, you're not tracking the news. You're not scrolling your phone. You're not replaying every appointment, every bill, every what if. You're just moving. Breath and motion begin to sync up. Inhale as the arms rise. Exhale as they lower. Inhale as the chest opens. Exhale as you come back to center. You don't have to think about it much. The structure of the routine carries you, and something quietly shifts inside. Shoulders relax a little. Jaw unclenches. Thoughts soften around the edges. You've just lowered stress hormones with movement instead of forcing yourself into stillness. For many older adults, this kind of gentle, guided motion is actually more relaxing than traditional meditation because the body finally feels like it has a job that matches the mind. This isn't just exercise. It's 3 minutes where you are allowed to be fully present in your own body without judgment. Quick pause. Let's make this a habit, not a one-time thing. Before we go deeper, let me ask you one thing. If you're over 50 or 60 and you want better balance, more joint comfort, practical ways to stay independent longer, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Here on True Senior Healthness, everything I create is tailored for you. Short, joint-friendly routines, deeper explanations so you actually understand why we do each move, and practical tips you can use right away at home. Subscribing is free, and it tells YouTube, show me more of this kind of helpful content, not random stuff that isn't made for my age and my body. All right, let's get back to what Radio Taiso is really doing under the surface. Your brain and body are meant to talk radio. Taiso helps reconnect them. Have you ever caught your toe on a curb? Turned too fast and almost lost your balance? Felt like your feet weren't quite doing what your brain was asking? That's not just clumsiness. It's often a sign that the connection between your brain and body has gotten a little fuzzy. Every movement you make is a conversation. Your eyes and inner ears send information. We're turning. Your joints and muscles send signals. Here's where we are. Your brain responds, okay, shift weight, tighten that muscle, relax that one. But when you stop moving much, or only move in very limited ways, that conversation gets quieter and slower. Radio Taiso turns the volume back up. The sequence includes reaching overhead, swinging arms across the body, bending and straightening, rotating the torso, shifting weight from foot to foot. Each one of those actions forces your brain to coordinate right and left, time your movements, keep track of where you are in space. That's called neuromotor training, and it's incredibly important for reaction time, balance, walking safely on uneven ground, avoiding falls in real life. You're not doing fast, scary moves. You're not spinning or balancing on one leg. You're just giving your nervous system the message. Stay sharp, stay connected. We're still using this body. Over time, people often notice fewer stumbles, less foggy movement, more confidence turning, reaching, and stepping. Your brain didn't forget how to control your body. It just needs regular practice. And 3 minutes a day is a surprisingly powerful teacher. Movement as identity, I'm still here. Let's talk about something deeper than muscles and joints. Getting older can quietly chip away at your sense of who you are. Maybe you've given up certain hobbies, stopped driving at night, needed more help than before, or felt like the world has started to look past you. You start to feel less like a full participant in your own life and more like someone the world is handling. That feeling can be heavier than any joint pain. This is where a tiny daily ritual like Radio Taiso becomes much more than exercise. It becomes a statement. When you choose to stand up or even sit tall in a chair and move through these 3 minutes, you're telling yourself, I still live in this body. I still choose what I do with it. I still take up space on purpose. No one can do those movements for you. They're yours. In a world that often tells older adults to slow down, be careful, be quiet, this small act of consistent movement is a quiet rebellion. You are not just your age. You are not just your medical chart. You are someone who still shows up. Even 3 minutes a day can reconnect you to that truth. How to start Radio Taiso without needing to be fit. Let's make this practical. You don't need music. You don't need to know the traditional Japanese routine perfectly to start. What you need is a simple version that respects your joints, keeps things safe, and gives you the same kind of whole-body activation. Here's a beginner-friendly outline you can follow. Think of this as your training wheels version. You can do all of this standing or sitting in a sturdy chair, depending on how stable you feel. Gentle upper body wake-up. Sit or stand tall, feet flat on the floor. Inhale as you raise your arms forward and up to shoulder height. Exhale as you gently lower them. Do this 6-8 times, letting the movement stay comfortable and easy. Then, make small circles with your shoulders forward a few times, then backward. Keep the circles smooth, not forced. This wakes up your shoulders and upper back without strain. Side reach and lengthening. Place one hand by your side. Inhale as you reach the other arm up toward the ceiling, then gently lean a little to the opposite side. Feel the side of your rib cage open. Exhale as you return to center. Switch sides. Do 4-6 slow, alternating repetitions. This gently stretches the sides of your torso and frees up breathing. Soft torso rotation. Place your hands lightly on your chest or cross your arms loosely. Slowly turn your upper body a little to the right, then back to the center, then to the left. Keep your hips mostly facing forward. Move like you're saying no with your ribs, not your neck. Do 6-8 easy rotations, breathing comfortably. This helps your spine rotate, something that tends to disappear with age, but is vital for walking and turning smoothly. Mild leg activation. If standing, hold onto the back of a chair or a counter. Gently march in place, lifting one knee a little, then the other. Don't worry about height, think soft stepping. If seated, lift one knee a few inches, lower it, then the other, like a small marching motion in the chair. Do about 30-40 seconds at a rhythm that feels natural. This wakes up the hip flexors and gets blood moving in the legs. Finish with a full body stretch. Inhale as you sweep your arms out and up, even if only halfway. Exhale as you lower them and gently soften your knees or relax into the chair. Repeat 3-4 times. At the end, just stand or sit quietly for a few breaths and notice. How does your body feel now versus 3 minutes ago? Any extra warmth? A little more ease in your neck or shoulders? A slightly calmer mind? That's your Radio Taiso moment. Over time, you can look up the traditional sequences and follow along more precisely. But you don't need perfection to receive the benefits. You need consistency. What if I have arthritis, heart issues, or poor balance? Great question, and one you absolutely should be asking. Here are some general guidelines. If you have arthritis, focus more on gentle range of motion and less on forcing big stretches. Small, repeated circles often feel better than big, dramatic movements. If you have heart or lung conditions, keep the pace comfortable. You should be able to talk while moving. If you feel chest pain, dizziness, or unusual shortness of breath, stop and contact your doctor. If your balance is shaky, do the entire routine next to a counter or sturdy chair, or seated. There is no rule that says Radio Taiso only counts if you're standing. And always, check with your healthcare provider if you're starting anything new, especially if you have complex health conditions. Pain that feels sharp, stabbing, or alarming is a reason to stop and reassess, not to push harder. Gentle movement is usually safer than no movement at all, but it should always be done with respect for your body's limits. Why just 3 minutes matters more than you think. It's easy to dismiss something this short. 3 minutes? We waste 3 minutes scrolling on our phone without thinking. But think about what 3 minutes a day really does over time. 3 minutes times 365 days equals almost 20 hours of intentional, whole-body movement per year. That's 20 hours of circulation boosted, joints lubricated, brain-body communication rehearsed, stress lowered, identity reclaimed. And here's the key. Because it's short, gentle, and doable, you're far more likely to keep going. Most big exercise plans fail not because people are weak, but because the plan doesn't fit real life. Radio Taiso, or your version of it, does. You can do it while the kettle boils, after you make your bed, before breakfast, or right before you turn in for the night. No change of clothes, no special shoes, no commute, just 3 minutes that say, I still care about how I move. I still care about how I feel. I still care about myself. And that message is more powerful than any single workout. Your invitation. If you've listened this far, something in you is already reaching for this. Maybe it's the part that remembers a time when your body felt lighter. Maybe it's the part that's tired of feeling like your future is shrinking. Maybe it's the quiet, stubborn part that refuses to give up. Here's your invitation. Choose a time tomorrow. Morning is often best. Pick a small space. Living room, bedroom, even the kitchen. Decide you'll give yourself 3 minutes. Not to be perfect, just to show up. Follow the simple routine we walk through, or look up a Radio Taiso video and follow along at your own pace. Sit if you need to, modify as you go. Then after you finish, come back and tell me in the comments, I did my 30 minutes today. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to see to believe it's possible for them, too. Because aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean refining, becoming more intentional, more aware, more you. Every gentle reach, every small bend, every breath you take in those 3 minutes is a message. I'm still here, I still matter, and I choose to move. And I'm right here with you, one simple, powerful minute at a time.